Manchester United's transfer plans take a twist as Antony's future hangs in the balance. Soccerball Real Betis make their stance clear. Van Nistelrooy and Keown reunite after their infamous clash. And big decisions loom ahead of the Tottenham showdown. Stay tuned for all the latest updates. Let's dive in. Antony's stance on permanent Man United exit as Real Betis make position clear. Manchester United flop Antony could still attempt to win over Ruben Amorim this summer. The £86 million signing was last month sent on loan to Real Betis with the expectation that his unfulfilling spell at Old Trafford was at an end. But the La Liga club have not included an option to buy clause in their loan deal, and Antony's agent Junior Pedroso has insisted that the forward might be up for convincing Amorim that he can play a redemptive role for his struggling squad. Antony remains under contract at United until the summer of 2027 and earns £120,000 a week. He has scored 12 goals in 96 appearances for United and found the net just once in the league since April 2023. But Pedroso said, "I believe that football is very dynamic. There are no long-term plans to be made. There may still be a few more chapters in his story with Manchester United, or there may not be. This will depend on many factors involving decisions by the club and him in the near future." Antony respects Amorim a lot, for sure. But we understood in January that his moment at the club was not good. So Manchester United also understood that leaving on loan was the best way for Antony to recover his best form. Antony has scored in 2 of his first 3 games for Betis, who are managed by former Manchester City and West Ham boss Manuel Pellegrini. Pedroso, who was speaking to Gimsport, also claimed that Premier League clubs and sides in Saudi Arabia had been keen on loaning Antony, only for him to prefer a switch to Seville because it was the ideal destination. He added, "I can tell you that clubs from England also wanted Antony. He had the chance to stay in the Premier League, but we preferred Real Betis. I can also reveal that Saudi Pro League clubs approached us over potential moves. It was another option, but Spain was the best possible for the player." Spanish football greatly strengthens Antony's main technical and physical characteristics. He has more freedom to use all his skills to the advantage of efficiency in attack. That's why we said yes, and Manchester United approved it too. Ruud van Nistelrooy shows true colors in Martin Keown reunion after infamous Man United clash. Martin Keown has offered an apology to Ruud van Nistelrooy for their infamous clash at Old Trafford back in 2003, after the pair crossed paths at Leicester on Saturday. TNT Sports pundit Keown was present at the King Power Stadium covering Leicester's Premier League game against Arsenal and interacted with New Fox's manager Van Nistelrooy before the match commenced. The notorious incident which saw Keown and Van Nistelrooy come head-to-head occurred during an infamous fixture between Arsenal and Manchester United 22 years ago, known as the Battle of Old Trafford. Amid the intense rivalry that existed between the two teams and their legendary managers, Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger, the goalless draw concluded with chaotic scenes following Van Nistelrooy's failed penalty attempt near the end of the game, after which he was accosted by several irate Arsenal players. Keown was front and center of the post-game shenanigans, jumping beside Van Nistelrooy and colliding with his back, igniting a scuffle involving players from both sides. The incident led to charges by the Football Association against the clubs, with the even becoming a part of Premier League folklore. Following a cordial pitchside handshake, Van Nistelrooy greeted Keown saying, "Martin, are you okay? Good to see you." To which Keown replied, "Nice to see you." Van Nistelrooy continued, "It's been a while, eh? I have seen you once at Villa Park, you remember?" Keown then acknowledged, "Yes. Apologies for all of the shenanigans that went on back in the day." What happens on the pitch stays on the pitch," Van Nistelrooy insisted. "I am happy that I have him in front of me, not at the back of me, you know. It was a good rivalry, wasn't it?" Keown concurred with a smile. Great days. I am glad you are standing there and not next to me because you used to love stamping on me." Accepting the banter, Van Nistelrooy admitted, "I would like to block you out as well and then fall over." However, Keown had the last laugh, referencing Leicester's current unsettling standings in the Premier League. Van Nistelrooy's Leicester side are currently 18th in the Premier League table after losing 2-0 to Arsenal this afternoon. Manchester United predicted 11 for Tottenham fixture, Dorgu decision and Mazraoui dropped. Manchester United are looking to record back-to-back wins against Tottenham this weekend. United secured a 2-1 victory against Leicester City in the FA Cup fourth round last week and returned to Premier League action on Sunday afternoon against a struggling Tottenham side. Spurs are 14th in the table, 2 points below United, and Ange Postecoglou is under immense pressure, which tees up a fascinating game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Patrick Dorgu made his debut against Leicester and Amorim was questioned for starting him on the right instead of the left, but United's head coach defended his selection after that game. During his post-match press conference, Amorim was asked about starting Dorgu on the right and explained, "He played a lot of time at Lecce on the right and the left. That is one of the characteristics we pay attention to a lot, to have a player like him. He was a little bit anxious with first touch of the ball. It's a different league for him, different speed of the game, but he did well. He had pace, strength, he will improve a lot, and we as a team need to play better to help these new guys to perform at the right level. The position, you can see in Wyscout he can play both sides." The expectation was that Dorgu would play at left wing-back for United, although it wouldn't be a surprise to see Amorim start him on the right again, which would mean Diogo Dalot on the left. Noussair Mazraoui started as a central defender in the three-man defense against Leicester and Matthijs de Ligt was rested, but the Dutchman is likely to return to the starting team. Manuel Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes are developing a healthy relationship in the midfield pivot and they are expected to start again. However, who starts in attack is contentious. Amad is almost guaranteed to retain his starting role. He has been the most consistent attacking player this season, but Rasmus Højlund might be dropped to the bench again. Joshua Zirkzee performed well against Tottenham when he came on in the Carabao Cup tie in December and perhaps he will start, with Alejandro Garnacho in the left number 10 role. Predicted United 11 versus Spurs: Onana, Yoro, Maguire, De Ligt, Dorgu, Dalot, Ugarte, Fernandes, Amad, Zirkzee, Garnacho. Ruben Amorim's Patrick Dorgu comments just exposed fault in Ineos' Man United transfer policy. For much of the post-Sir Alex Ferguson era, it has been hard to define Manchester United's player recruitment strategy. With the Glazers in charge of the purse strings, United would often fork out huge fees for players who consistently found themselves to be past their prime. Managers were given the authority to make decisions on players, which in theory is a positive but in practice proved to be a nightmare as too much power was conceded to those in the dugout. Upon Ineos' arrival, things soon changed with them finally creating a recruitment team who could work in tandem with the head coach. Their ethos is clear too by players young and cheap. United's days of forking out £80 million on players merely because they have the approval of the manager has ended. Now, the Reds are focusing on the next generation of stars, leaning into the vision that served Ferguson so well for many years. However, the Ferguson era may have been defined by exciting young talent like the class of '92, Wayne Rooney and Cristiano Ronaldo, but it also required a bed of experienced professionals to help guide the youngsters through those early stages. As has been proven this season, United just does not have that in their ranks. Results have been disastrous this season, and in the January transfer window, the Reds decided to spend frugally to try and change that. The main addition was wingback Patrick Dorgu, who, at 20, had become a star for Serie A strugglers Lecce. The jump to the Premier League is a different beast, though, and Amorim has already admitted he has needed to enforce changes on Dorgu to bring him up to speed. "We work with him and he is understanding better the way we want to play," the United head coach told the club's media channels. "He has some habits from the last club, Lecce. In the first moments he has had to change things, but it has been a good week. And here lies the problem with Ineos' recruitment strategy. It is all well and good signing young players, but they cannot be blamed if they don't hit the ground running immediately. They are still learning their craft and are not the finished article. That's also fine if you are introducing a player like Rooney or Ronaldo into a winning team, as it helps them to grow quickly into their new surroundings. But currently, there is a severe lack of experienced professionals who Amorim can point to as the standard bearers. Bruno Fernandes is arguably the only one who is currently fit who Amorim can use as an example. A long-term project is admirable, but United need to see noticeable improvements in the short term. But if they continue to sign a host of young, rough diamonds, the club cannot expect short-term success. It remains to be seen if, by the summer, Ineos chooses to sign some senior professionals to rebuild standards, while also helping to integrate exciting youth prospects.